The White Stripes, their debut album. This album was released in 1999, and quite a while before, Jack White became a household name and never will have to work again thanks to the ubiquitous nature of Seven Nation Army. But at this point in their career, this album was really only available to a very small area of the Detroit local music scene. It really only gained widespread recognition as the band became more visible. But what a really fantastic initial statement this is for the White Stripes. Again, the White Stripes is a band in my mind that really shouldn't work. How are you going to have a duo that's just a guitar player and a drummer really give you a sound that is so full and self-realized that you don't miss having a bass player, you don't miss having a keyboard player? And especially on this one, because it's very, very raw, it's very stripped down. Later on in their career, the White Stripes would have things that are a lot more studio enhanced, a lot more ornate, but here it's really just the two of them. And they get by on that by the way that Jack White really minds the essential idea of what the blues are. Now, Jack White here isn't really trying to innovate the blues and push it forward in the way like Stevie Ray Vaughan would have. Instead, he's really about preserving intent. Jack White aligns himself, I think, a lot more closely with guys more like Jimmy Page and Keith Richards than really heavy-duty players like Eric Clapton. But it wasn't his intention, though, to really find new areas for the blues to go into. He was more about showing people what was so important about it in the first place. And you can see this extremely clearly on their debut album, because the second track is a Robert Johnson cover for the Stop Breaking Down Blues. And Robert Johnson is sort of the key original figure for all those European rock guitar players that reinterpreted American blues, turned it into British pop and brought it back to us. That was a common touchstone were these original Robert Johnson recordings. And by covering that tune, I think he really aligns himself with the original intent of what rock music was in the 60s. But by no means is the White Stripes retro. In 1999, what they were doing was mixing the confrontational nature of garage rock and punk rock through the lens of the blues and writing really catchy alternative rock music that really showed the blues' continued relevance to American culture.